Hello students, very good morning to everybody. Let's continue the session. In this session, we are going to discuss about center of mass of a continuous mass distribution. The center of mass of a continuous mass distribution. And this is the continuous mass distribution concept. We will be finding the center of mass, we will be identifying the location of center of mass by using, carefully see, by using the method of integration. By using the method of integration, we have already discussed, my dear students, we have already discussed the concept called method of symmetry. Now it's time to learn the method of integration. Right? I hope you all are ready. So there is a new term here. Till now you have not come across this term. Continuous mass distribution. What is meant by the continuous mass distribution? Have a look at it, my dear students. So imagine there is a uniform rod I have considered. This is the uniform rod of length L and the mass M. Observe my dear students. This rod will have n number of individual masses. In this system, n number of individual masses are present. Will you agree with this? N number of individual masses will present. So to find the center of mass of this rod, identifying the each mass and applying the formula like m1 x1, m2 x2, m3 x3, m4 x4, it's too difficult for us. Right? Too difficult for us. Or m1 y1 plus m2 y2 so on by m1 plus m2, and using this also too difficult for us. So concentrating on individual mass of the system, individual masses of the system, and identifying the location of the center of mass by using our method of symmetry or the general method, it's too difficult to get the center of mass point here. Sir, we know it is a uniform rod, center of mass will be at the middle. As it is a uniform rod, it is easy to find the center of mass will be there at a distance L by 2 from one end, L by 2 from the other end also. If it is uniform rod, if it is non-uniform, sometimes, so the mass of the rod will be more right side. So here more mass is there, here more mass is there. Understand? Here small mass is there. Or a middle, there are so many masses are there in the middle. So our rod is made up like this. So in this case, how can you say that it is L by 2? It's not a uniform rod in this case. Right? It's not a uniform rod in this case. I hope you understand. So that's called the continuous mass distribution. We consider this kind of bodies are called continuous mass distribution. They may uniform, they may not be uniform, my dear students. Right? Now, this is the continuous mass distribution concept. We use identifying the location of the center of mass by using method of integration. So let's see. So there are three basic formulas you should understand to solve these kind of questions. So what are the basic formulas here? Look at here. So xcm is equal to integral x dm divided by integral dm, my dear students. Have a look at it. Have a look at it. If you want to find the center of mass of this continuous mass distribution along x-axis, so this is the formula we should use. Integral x dm by integral dm. Understand? So no confusions. So the derivation is not required for us, but still I'll tell you. See here. So we know xcm is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus so on divided by m1 plus m2, so plus so on. From this formula only we have got this. From this formula only we have got this. Right? So here integral x into dm. See here, all these x values are same uncle. dm. Integral x into dm. The summation of the complete masses and x here. And here summation of the complete masses. Okay. So m1 plus m2 plus m3 so on integration. This is the easy way to remember this equation. right? But there is a derivation behind this, but it's not required for us. So XCM for continuous mass distribution. In the same way there is YCM. In the same way there is ZCM also. So for example, I'll tell you that also. So YCM is equal to integral Y into dm divided by integral dm. And integral ZCM, if you want, integral is Z into dm divided by integral dm. So my dear students, remember this. Listen to me this. Generally the students will get confused here. Where? We have studied that integral x dx, integral y dy, integral z dz. In that way we have studied. But here integral x into dm, right? In a flow or in a hurry in the exam, do not write the formula as integral x dx. No. What is this formula? Integral x dm divided by integral dm. This is for what? To find the position of the center of mass along x-axis for the continuous mass distribution, right? So one or two examples if we solve, you will understand it 100%. One or two examples. Let's see. The first example, your favorite question, and this question only. There is a uniform rod I have considered here. And there is a uniform rod. Uniform rod means the mass distribution is uniform. So if you cut this rod into two halves, left side how much is the mass distributed, right side is also the same mass is distributed. So the left side some unit length you take it, right side also some unit length you take it, same mass will be distributed. Understand? Clear? So from here to here at L by 4 distance some mass distribution you find out. From here also at a distance L by 4 a mass distribution you see, it is same. Understand? So that is the concept called a uniform rod. Uniform rod is considered here. This is the uniform rod of mass M of length L. Carefully observe. Uniform rod of mass M and length L. So from here, imagine this is the position, Imagine this is the position is called x is equal to 0. Right? And what is the last position? So can I say x is equal to L? My dear students, x is equal to 0 to L. That's called the length of the rod, uniform rod. Alright? So for this uniform rod, finding the center of mass position, we already know. Center of mass will be there. In this case, center of mass will be there L by 2. We know that L by 2. But we are going to prove this by using this integration method. Understand? So the first step by step we have to go. The first step, listen. From here, at a distance x, carefully see. A small elemental mass dm is considered whose elemental length is dx. A small mass dm. Total mass of the rod is m. Small mass dm is considered. That's what this one. A small mass dm is considered where? At a distance x from the initial point, from the origin you can say. At a distance h, small mass element dm. So that's what I am writing. Dm is equal to a mass element. So now dx is equal to elemental length. What is the dx? Elemental length is considered. Alright. Let's move on. Fine. So what is the formula? The basic formula you have xcm is equal to integral x dm divided by integral dm, students. X is this one, it's fine. And dm, what is the dm? We don't know the dm, right? What is the dm? Observe here. This is step 2. Step 1 is at a distance x, identify a small elemental mass and elemental length. First one. Second step is what? How to find the dm. So that is important. Have a look at it. So we have mass, total mass and total length. When the total mass of the rod is m, total length of the rod is capital L. For small dm, small elemental length is dx. From here dm value you get, right? From here dm value is how much? From here, cross multiplication, my dear students, cross multiplication. What is dm value? So dm value is equal to capital M by capital L into dx. Second step. What is the first step? At a distance x from the origin, identify a elemental mass and elemental length. Second step, find that dm. Carefully see, find that dm. Right? And coming back to this, I can write dm by dx is equal to m by L, that is equal to linear density of the rod. What is this called? Linear density of the rod, which is denoted with the symbol lambda, my dear students. Carefully observe. So when you go to the little higher level, it comes like this. So linear density of the rod is nothing but lambda, which is equal to dm by dx or m by L. Right? Small elemental mass by elemental length or total mass by total length. So that's called the linear density of the rod in this case. Right? Okay. Our xcm is equal to integral. So what is x into dm? What is dm here, students? Dm. From here. So what is dm? Dm is equal to capital M by capital L into dx divided by, so what is integral dm here? That is also integral. Dm is what? Capital M by capital L into dx. Okay. Now here, have a look at it. So this m by L will come out here. M by L will come out. And what is remain here? Integral x dx divided by, here also m by L will come out. It is integral dx. Okay. So m by L and m by L cancel here. This is important and interesting point, my dear students. Important and interesting. Listen. Limits are very important. And x limits are what here? We are integrating with respect to dx. X limits are what? From origin we have started till where we'll use this, we'll take these dm's. So this is dm we have taken at some arbitrary point, right? At some arbitrary point under any point in the middle of the rod, in the flow of the rod, any point. So this dm you can also take here, yeah. This dm you can also take here, here. Small elemental length you can take up to here, and your limits are from 0 to L. So that's what your limits are, 0 to L. So 0 to L. Okay, fine. So integral x dx andre x square by 2, limits 0 to L. Here also integral dx andre x, so limits are 0 to L. Okay, so the continuation I am writing here, my dear students, continuation. So continuation, so that no need to rub it. Xcm is equal to, what is this? Upper limit you substitute now, L square by 2 divided by lower limit you substitute, that is 0, minus 0. Here divide denominator. So upper limit you substitute, that is L. So L square by 2 by L. So L cancel. So what is xcm here, my dear students? What is xcm here, my dear students, in case of uniform rod? In case of uniform rod, your xcm value from here to at a distance L by 2 it is there. So imagine this is center of mass, from where it will be L by 2 from the origin. So that's what our initial assumption, right? That is not only our initial assumption, in the last class and before that we have done it. If you have a uniform rod of length of 5 meters, exactly at 2.5 meters from any end, the center of mass will stay. Because that's a uniform rod. Understand? For uniform as well as non-uniform rods, we use the similar methods by using the concept called method of integration. Method of what? Integration. And let's see some more numericals related to that, right? So next question I'll tell you, and another one I'll give you the classwork, and get ready for that. Alright, my dear students, let's see the numerical here. If linear density of the rod of length L varies as lambda is equal to a plus bx. See here, lambda is equal to a plus bx. So what is given here? So given dm by dx is equal to a plus bx. Did you remember that? What is that lambda? It's a linear density of the rod. Linear density formula enama. Dm by dx is equal to a plus bx. From here I can also write, so this dm is equal to a plus bx into dx. All right. The question is find the position of the center of mass. Simple. Find the position of the center of mass. So we have the formula xcm is equal to integral x dm divided by integral dm. This is position of the center of mass from where? Is it from x is equal to 0? Yes. Now integral x into dm andrenuma a plus bx into dx divided by integral dm andre. So a plus bx into dx. So we are doing integration with respect to dx. So the limits are from 0 to L. Limits are from 0 to L. Why 0 to L? We are starting from 0 and length of the rod is L, capital L, 0 to L. Now, so let us expand it. That's it. Simple. This is integral ax dx. Observe here. Individual I am writing here. Integral ax dx plus integral bx square dx divided by 0 to L. Limits are 0 to L only. Divided by integral a into dx. Students, 0 to L plus bx into dx. Integral bx into dx 0 to L. Okay. Now here a is out because it's constant. Integral x dx andre x square by 2 0 to L plus here b out. Integral x square dx andre x cube by 3 0 to L divided by next here a comes out. Integral dx andre x 0 to L plus b comes out. Integral x dx andre x square by 2 0 to L. That's it. Alright. So limits you have to apply now. So xcm is equal to a into, so that is L square by 2 plus a b into L cube by 3 divided by, that is AL plus, so BL square by 2. Okay. So here you can take 1 by 3 common. Xcm is equal to numerator 1 by 3 if you take common numerator. So what is that? It's AL square plus BL cube divided by denominator. It's a LCM is 2 and remaining it's a 2AL plus a BL square. Understand? Now, so when it goes up, it will be 2 by 3. Simple. XCM is equal to, this 2 goes up, that will be 2 by 3 and rest everything will be same. So 2 by 3 into AL square plus BL cube divided by 2AL plus a BL square. So that's, understand? So this is how XCM will be calculated. So most important problem, right? So this is how XCM will be calculated. So let's see this question for the classwork. Right now you should do this and send me in WhatsApp. If linear density of the rod of length capital L, it's kx square by L. Simple. Instead of a plus bx, here they gave it as kx square by L. K is constant. Here a and b are constant, students. A and b are constants. Okay. And here k is constant. X is the distance of any point from one end. Find the distance of center of mass from end x is equal to 0. Same concept. The procedure goes same, and this is how you will find the answer. This is how much you get the answer. XCM is 3L by 4, right? So you just try it, take this help and try it and send me the solution immediately right now. We'll continue the class now. Now the topic is cross product of the two vectors. Already you have studied in your basics mathematics. dot product of the vectors, cross product of the vectors after the differentiation integration last year you have studied. So let's do a quick recap based on the cross product of two vectors, that because further chapter this will helps a lot. Let's move on. Cross product of two vectors. Two vectors we are considering here. A bar dot B bar I am writing, that's a dot product, which is equal to A B cos theta, my dear students. A is the magnitude of A bar, B is the magnitude of B bar, theta is angle between these two vectors. There is no vector here. A is the magnitude, B is the magnitude. Cos theta will have magnitude, it will not have any direction. Cos thetas will have values, right? Cos 0, 1, right? So then root 3 by 2, 1 by root 2, 1 by 2, 0, it goes like that. There is a value that's called the magnitude. So this is magnitude and this is magnitude, this is magnitude, no direction. So for example, this is called the dot product here. So when you take an example, you know work done is equal to F bar dot S bar. I hope you remember this. It is a vector F bar, force. It is a vector displacement S bar. So there is a dot product is happening between these two vectors, and the product what we have got, is it a scalar or vector? The work done, it's a scalar or vector? Write it in WhatsApp. So that is a scalar. So when you multiply two vectors with a dot product, you will get a scalar, my dear students. And let's see one more example here. So we have the power. Power is equal to F bar dot V bar. Power is equal to F bar dot V bar. F bar is a force. V bar is a velocity. Both are vectors. So when you are multiplying two vectors with a dot product, we got a scalar, right? Power is a scalar. Work is a scalar. Like this, so many examples we have. Students. Right? What you should understand, when we are doing a dot product between the two vectors, your product will be a scalar. So now our topic is a cross product. So the same things, A bar cross B bar I am doing now. Formula will be magnitude of A bar, it's A, magnitude of B bar, it's B, and a sine theta, sine angle between these two vectors. So completely magnitude again we have got. So this is the magnitude we have got. But the name is what we are doing? Cross product of two vectors. And this is also called a vector product, my dear students. What is that also called? A vector product, students. So that means when you make a cross product here, you get a vector. But see, the vector will have both magnitude and direction. This is only the magnitude, and the direction of this A bar cross B bar is represented with a symbol n cap, the unit vector. What is that? Unit vector. Unit vector along this A bar B bar direction. Unit vector along A bar B bar direction. That is important. Right? So magnitude is fine. A bar magnitude A, and you know a vector ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ magnitude find ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು. So B bar vector ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು, that's magnitude B. Cosine theta, angle between these two vectors, that also will be easy. But identifying the direction of A bar cross B bar is important, right? So this A bar cross B bar direction we can find, listen here. So direction we can find by using, observe madri, so by using right hand thumb rule. What is that rule? Right hand thumb rule. Very simple and important, my dear students. So I have a vector A bar and I have a vector B bar here. Observe madri. The angle between them is theta. So what we need? We need direction of A bar cross B bar, my dear students. So direction of A bar cross B bar. Okay, clear. Right hand thumb rule andre, imagine this is your right hand. Okay, right hand. So this is the thumb. And these are the stretched fingers, my dear students, stretched fingers. Okay, now have a look at it. So when we are finding A bar cross B bar, first find out A bar direction. So this is A bar direction. In the direction of A bar, you must keep your stretched fingers like this. See here, these are the stretched fingers we have kept in the direction of A bar. Understand? Clear? Now we are doing A bar cross B bar. So A bar cross B bar. So this is A bar direction, and towards B bar we should curl our fingers. Simple. This is A bar. We'll keep the stretched fingers in the direction of A bar, and we will curl the fingers towards B bar so that the thumb will point in the direction, right? That's called the cross product direction. A bar cross B bar is out of the plane here. Understand? So at this point, A bar cross B bar will gives you outward direction. So this is called outward representation. See, outward, the vector is showing outwards. That is the symbol. That is the symbol. So I am writing here A bar cross B bar. It's outwards from this plane. Outwards from this plane. So I am writing just with the symbol outwards from this plane. And in the same way, can you find B bar cross A bar also now here, my dear students? B bar cross A bar. What is meant by B bar cross A bar? We should keep our stretched fingers in the direction of B bar, and we need to curl them towards A bar. Simple. So this is B bar. See, stretch your fingers towards in the direction of B bar and curl in the direction of A bar, because we need B bar cross A bar. Idu B bar cross A bar andre hinge. So now see your thumb direction. So right hand thumb rule prakara, thumb is showing into the plane. So at this point, thumb is showing into the plane. This is the representation of into the plane. Okay, so this is a B bar across A bar, my dear students. So B bar cross A bar direction is what? Into the plane. What you should understand from here? So from here you should understand an important point. A bar cross B bar is not at all equal to B bar cross A bar, students, because the direction is different. Understand? So A bar cross B bar and B bar cross A bar direction is different. Of course the magnitudes are same. Of course the magnitudes are same. So because from this, if you write B bar cross A bar, how will you write it? So B A sine theta into n cap, my dear students. So here A B sine theta, here B A sine theta. So everything is magnitude, 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 magnitude. Andre, so this n cap direction is different and this n cap direction is different, but the magnitudes will be same. So that is the reason, whatever it may be. If the magnitude of a vector is changing, the vector quantity is changing. If the direction of a vector is changing, and we say the vector quantity is changing. So that is why here A bar cross B bar is not at all equal to B bar cross A bar, but A bar cross B bar magnitude is equal to a B bar cross A bar, my dear students. This you remember. Alright? And next one. Next one in so A bar cross a B bar plus C bar, I can write it as A bar cross B bar plus A bar cross C bar. I can write like this. A bar cross B bar plus C bar is equal to A bar cross B bar plus A bar cross C bar. That's called distributive law. What is this law called, my dear students? What is this law called? Students, tell me. It's a distributive law. So what is this? Distributive law. Alright everyone. Okay. And one more thing. So I can write A bar cross A bar is how much, students? A bar cross A bar. And a cross product between the same vectors. Magnitude of the A into magnitude of A into sine of angle between A bar cross A bar. So that's 0 degrees. So sine 0 andre 0. So A bar cross A bar is 0. Understand? Clear? Now, same way, I cap cross I cap is how much? magnitude of I cap is I. Magnitude of I cap andre unit vector whose magnitude is 1. So I'm writing 1. This is I cap is a unit vector. Magnitude of I cap is 1. Magnitude of another I cap is 1 into sine 0 degrees. So it's sine 0, 0. Understand? Same like A bar cross A bar, I bar cross I bar. See? So, in the same way, J cap cross J cap is also 0 and K cap cross K cap is also 0, my dear students. And in the same way, I cap cross J cap is how much? I cap cross J cap is how much? Listen. If you consider this is I cap, students, this is I cap and this is a J cap along the y axis is J cap. I cap cross J cap. It is similar like a vector product. This is I cap in the direction of my stretched fingers, and towards J cap I am just curling my fingers so that the thumb will point out of the plane. So that out of the plane is the K cap unit vector. Yes or no? The unit vector will be along K cap. So this is a K cap. Alright? So this I cap cross J cap is K cap. Then J cap cross K cap is equal to I cap. Then K cap cross I cap is equal to J cap. Understand? See, I cap cross J cap cross K cap cross I cap, like that. So now the same thing if you write in the reverse way, J cap cross I cap is equal to minus K cap cross J cap is equal to minus I cap cross K cap is equal to minus J cap. It goes like that, right? One important point I will tell you, students, listen, everybody, it's the most important part. We can say it's a heart of the concept which will be useful for the next topics. Heart of this concept adenandre ಈ A bar cross B bar direction ಇದೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, or B bar cross A bar, anything ಅಂದ್ರೆ product of what? A bar and B bar. The vector product of A bar and B bar is always perpendicular to the plane which contains A bar and B bar. This is the board is a plane which contains these two vectors. When I find A bar cross B bar, the A bar cross B bar is perpendicular to this. Will you agree with that? Students, tell me. The A bar cross B bar is perpendicular to this. See here, A bar cross B bar perpendicular to this plane, or B bar cross A bar perpendicular to this plane which contains A bar and B bar. Remember always, that is the very important point. So cross product always directs perpendicular to the plane containing two vectors. Understand? So the plane which contains these two vectors perpendicular to that A bar cross B bar irutte. And one more point, see, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ deep level ಹೋದ್ರೆ, so this B bar direction is perpendicular to A bar cross B bar, and this A bar direction is also perpendicular to A bar cross B bar, and this A bar cross B bar is perpendicular to complete plane contains these two vectors, right? Everything is correct. Understand? Okay, so just pause the video and write down. We'll continue the session. All right, students, let's talk about scalar product. When they have given two vectors, how to find the scalar and vector product of them. Let's move on. And before that, if you see some examples, I can write tau bar is equal to R bar cross F bar, comma, a V bar is equal to omega bar cross R bar, comma, L bar is equal to R bar cross P bar. Look at here. Tau andre torque anta. What is meant by the torque? It comes later. R is the perpendicular distance, students, r is perpendicular distance, whatever it may be. Here one r is there, and r is there, perpendicular distance. And you know this linear velocity, angular velocity, omega is equal to angular velocity. And this L is equal to angular momentum. So what is that L? Angular momentum. Okay. Clear now? So this P is the linear momentum. So that is the relation between angular momentum and linear momentum. This is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. And this is the relation between torque and force. Okay. Now, so what we are going to do is, so there is a bar which is ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap. That's a vector a bar. And in the same way, there is a vector b bar also. What is that? A bx I cap plus by j cap plus bz k cap, my dear students. A bar vector we have and b bar vector also we have. A bar vector we have and b bar vector also we have. Right? Now, so when this kind of two vectors given, if they ask you to find the vector product, we use a determinant method, my dear students. A bar cross b bar is equal to, what is the determinant method? In the mathematics or in the previous vector session, you might have learned it, but I'll still remind you once again. So this is I cap quotients we need to write here, j cap quotients we need to write, and k cap quotients also we need to write. So first A bar vector we will write. A bar vector I cap quotient, j cap quotient, k cap quotient. Tell me, it's a ax, ay, az. Next B bar vector. B bar vector I cap quotient, j cap quotient, and k cap quotient. It's a bx, it's a by, and it is bz. Okay. So this is how we'll do that now. I cap will take it. When you take I cap, this vertical and horizontal lines along this I cap, vertical line along I cap and horizontal line along I cap will be removed. So what you will be having? 1, 2, 3, 4. Here the determinant method we use. What is meant by the determinant method? So these two will be multiplied minus these two will be multiplied. Simple. When you are finding the I cap quotient of this product, horizontal line and vertical line along I cap will be removed and you will have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 quotients, right? So these 4 will be multiplied like this into this, cross multiplication among this into this minus this into this. So that's a formula, simple. So I cap we are finding, so ay into bz minus az into by, right? So in the formula itself there is a minus here, minus j cap into, say in the formula itself minus is there, remember. So j cap, vertical line and horizontal line if you remove, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 we have. And those 4 cross multiplication ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ axbz minus azbx, okay, plus k cap. We need, this is a vector which will have I cap quotient, j cap quotient, k cap quotient. K cap, horizontal and the vertical things if you remove, and what is left here? axby minus aybx as step. That's it. So this is how, by using determinant method, how to find A bar cross B bar magnitude as well as direction. Direction is very simple. Right? Direction finding is very simple. Let's find it. This A bar cross B bar direction finding is right hand thumb rule. What is there in it? This is vector, you get it. The vector, you know how to find its magnitude. Okay. Find the scalar and vector products of these two vectors here. There are two vectors. It's a scalar product. How simple? Scalar product. Scalar product is the direct multiplication of I cap quotients, j cap quotients, k cap quotients. Simple. 2 into 1. See, I cap nothing is there 1. So it's 2 plus. It is minus 3 into minus 2. What is that? It's a plus 6 plus k cap quotients. 4 into 3. It's 12. See how simple it is. How much it is? Is it 20? So this is 8 plus 12. It's 20. It has only magnitude, my dear students. A bar dot B bar andre, it's a scalar product which will have only the magnitude direct. Right? Now, A bar cross B bar we can find by using determinant method. By using determinant method. I cap, J cap, K cap. I cap quotient is 2 minus 3, 4. And A bar quotients. B bar quotients, what are those? 1 minus 2, 3. Okay. And here, I cap quotients. This vertical line and horizontal line is removed, and here minus 3 into 3, it's minus 9, minus 4 into minus 2, minus 8, and we'll keep plus 8, minus j cap. In the formula itself, minus is there, I told you clearly. Formula itself, minus is there. Okay. So minus j cap. J cap also, vertical and horizontal lines are closed. Then this is 2 into 3, 6, minus 1 into 4, 4, plus k cap, plus k cap, k cap. Vertical line and horizontal line cancel. 2 into minus 2, it's a minus 4. And minus 3 into 1, minus 3. So minus of minus 3 is plus 3. Right? So what is the final answer here? Students, what is the final answer? So A bar or a small a bar cross B bar is equal to, what is that here? Minus I cap. Yes or no? Minus 9 plus 8 is minus 1. Right? Here, 6 minus 4, it's 2. Minus 2 J cap. Okay? Plus 3 minus 4, minus 1. So it's a minus K cap. Right? Simple. A bar cross B bar, how much is the formula we have got? Minus I cap, minus 2J cap, minus K cap. In the same way, there is a question for you. This is the classwork. You should do it right now and send me the solutions. Find the dot and cross product. A bar is given and B bar is given. Similarly, use the dot product and the cross product methods and find out and tell me the answer right now. Right? So that's it. All the very best and see you in the next class.